border to go into one of these detention camps, and they'd started a GoFundMe so that somebody could throw a burrito at her. So they're starting a GoFundMe they were like, we should get.
So that's a joke, right? Well, that's assault. You can't raise money for an assault.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's fake. Fake news.
It's not fake. Like they talked about it.
Do you know that they troll the fuck out of her? Like we did a whole episode. We do a whole episodes on her. She's but so easy.
It wasn't public. It was in this private group. This is just as silly.
We're live. Oh, we're live.
This is just as silly as the people that got upset about the text messages between those FBI agents.
What text messages?
Those two that were banging each other.
Yeah.
And just like having like bedroom talk, pillow talk on their cell phones, and they're like, "Man, what are we gonna do if Trump wins?" And then they're like, "Oh, we'll just have to bring them down with the global conspiracy." Ha ha ha.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking about those two FBI agents. I don't remember the freaking names.
Oh man, I didn't hear
Jimmy,
about this.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's the ones that Trump's been screaming about the whole time. It's a rigged system. That's why I don't trust the FBI.
Rigged system.
They're all against me.
I am Donald Trump bot, and it is rigged. Yeah. Believe me, it is rigged.
All right,
Jimmy, you're terrific.
Go on.
I am Trump bot. 5,000. Good for me.
Okay.
All right. Hey, let's get this party started.
About to go live.
That's right.
Tune in and call. Somebody call. We're gonna talk about World Cup. Talk about those ladies. They were dancing on the flag.
Disrespect. We're not talking about that.
They're gonna be
disrespecting the flag. Let's get this started here.
We're talking about Border Patrol and other stuff.
Jack.
Oh, stop.
I do tend to explode only when by myself.
I got one in a headlock, and I definitely connected at least 5 or 6 times before I heard free.
Oh my God. So you got to punch a cop.
Yeah.
There's a slight difference between molestation and Eros bestiality rate.
It's not molestation.
He's the mole, dude.
He's got the mole in the base of his cock, dude. He's fucking hung like a horse.
Mom, you are a horrible human being. You know what? Why don't you die from breast cancer or something?
No, you take that back.
How do the sun and moon orbit the Earth if it's flat?
Suck a scientist's dick.
But in the event of an emergency, your regular exit might not be the quickest or safest.
Hey, this emergency exit is painted on.
There's no way out. There's no way out.
Yo! That's right. Now is the time to open your mind. In our search for the unknown, who knows what we will find? This is Emergency Exit.
It is.
This is episode 112. Today is July 8th, 2019. We are broadcasting from K-Brand Studios here in our floating tin can. Far above the world. I am Los. Follow me on Twitter at That's Right Los. Joining me as always is Jimmy Orange Bad Preston. Follow him on Twitter at Jimmy Preston. Streaming us live, we are on Facebook Live. Call us. The number's on the screen. Is Brandon the Hard Hat Mitchell?
What's up, Hard Hat?
Oh, you always get to see applause.
How y'all doing over there?
Y'all doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm all right. We're on camera over there.
That's right.
Thanks for having us again.
Today on the program, we're going to pay women more. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about something that happened over the weekend, because lots of stuff happened over the weekend, but we're not going to talk about all the weird stuff. Just the fun stuff, I guess. And also, if we have any time, we'll talk about scared Starbucks people, customers, and racist, and just racism, I guess. That's what it's going to be. But first, let's do a Brew World Order. See, we're very organized in this show, so... Today, we are drinking Flavor Country by Austin Beer Works here in Austin, Texas.
Pretty.
It's a nice purple beer.
What's going on? Do I still hear music?
Oh, that's probably out there. We're too loud for him. All right, so let's have Jimmy read about this beer in a sultry and sexy friggin' voice.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Hey there.
Hi.
How's it going? I heard.
What'd you hear
I heard
about Flavor Country? Tell me more.
these interactive websites are too tricky.
That's right. He's not organized.
When we began in 2011, it was impossible to brew this hoppy pale ale. The ingredients weren't available, and the science didn't exist. Oil-rich lupulin powder was just a dream. It brings intense flavor but doesn't linger. Drinks like a hop-forward pale ale but doesn't blow you up, and every sip leaves you craving more. It's so special, we had to invent a whole new country to explain it.
Flavor Country.
Welcome.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah.
All right. This beer has 5.9% alcohol by volume. It's a hoppy pale ale. Let's crack her open and see what we got.
What does starting gravity mean?
Starting gravity. I don't know.
It's the start of gravity. I think that's code for the Big Bang.
Oh, I know what Brandon's going to say about this right away.
Really? All right,
Why
here we
don't
go.
Why don't you take a sip?
Not too hoppy?
Whoa.
Shit. If that's not very hoppy, I don't want to have very hoppy.
Wow. Because it's pretty hoppy?
I mean, kind of. It's got that
It's
bitter.
It's very hoppy. It tastes almost like it's got grapefruit
Yeah.
in it, brewed right in, like grapefruit peel.
Man, I got a mustache
Yeah.
here.
Oh, man.
What would you rate this?
Drinks like a hop-forward pale ale, but doesn't blow you up. Is it blowing you up, Brandon?
Not blowing
A
me
whole
up.
one would. A whole one would.
Yeah.
And I got to take that into consideration. Taking that into mind, how many I'd be able to drink. Like, I'm going to buy a 6-pack. Fuck, it'll last me a week.
Yeah.
You know? I would give it a 3.9.
3.9. That's pretty high. I thought you were going to go really, really low.
It is real drinkable. It is hoppy, but it does taste really good. That little zest of a grapefruit almost gives it a crisp citrus finish.
I kind of wish I had that drop still. Damn it. Crisp citrus finish. That's Lemon saying that. Okay, go ahead. What do you think,
You
bud?
probably like this, so yeah, you go last. Listen, on my trip to Flavor Country, I obviously was driven through Burp Town. Because like I took one sip
and you're burping.
It's just I don't know.
You know,
what's
I noticed
happening.
that too. Actually,
it's like a gastrointestinal explosion that's happening right now. But let me just tell you,
I didn't realize that, but yeah, it does that.
This almost tastes like a Bock, like a triple Bock. It's got a finish
Triple
that
Bock.
reminds me of Sam Adams triple Bock that they used to put out during Christmas time. My grandmother loved it. It tastes like prunes.
Tastes like prunes. So you're taking another sip. What is your rating for this bad boy?
I give it a 2.5 to match the final gravity.
Damn.
I hate hops.
I know you do. You
hops.
picked it out. But 5.9 alcohol. Do you think they could make a beer that's got that much alcohol?
We think Alex gave us this beer.
Alex?
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Alrighty. That's
I don't
our
know if he
beer
knows he
sponsor.
gave us.
That's the beer sponsor
Yeah,
of the
he's our sponsor. He paid us.
beer sponsor of the week.
Yeah.
Goes to
Awesome Beer Works.
Awesome Beer Works and Alex. Thank you very kindly. I'm going to go ahead and say I really like this. It's almost reminiscent of when we had, what was it? Sculpin Grapefruit IPA. It's got a very grapefruit flavor.
It does have grapefruit, doesn't it?
And it's got the hop is not even that overwhelming. You get a lot more of the citrus. It is crisp, but it's also pretty hoppy. I'm going to give this a solid 4.7 on the That's Right scale. Great. I think that's pretty happy.
Good job, guys.
That's the brew world friggity do.
I mean, but look at this website. It's like you just touch it and it goes to another one. It's like very interactive. You can check out the Awesome Beer Works website, but it's just not good for on-the-fly touch padding. You know what I mean? So take it down a notch.
All right. This story comes from, let's do the news.
Yeah.
News.
Jimmy. That's right. We coming at you, coming with the light. We got the news. We've got the news. We've got the news. We've got
burping a lot from that beer.
We got the news with
Jimmy.
That's right.
This story
Did you
comes
not
from
have
CNN.
like a mixing board when you put that?
I just wanted to make it loud.
Okay.
Jimmy.
I mean, I love it.
Jimmy. I'll plan to re-record it with that actually has your.
Okay.
When I actually sing it. There's a whole story behind the reason why I did that, because I did record a bunch of other ones on top. Anyways, we'll get into it some other time.
Sometimes bad is good.
The story comes from CNN.com. From when? This is from July 7th. Here we go. The U.S. women's national team sealed the deal with its fourth stunning victory Sunday.
Yeah, hats off. Hats off. I'm showing respect by taking my hat off. You see what I'm doing?
Taking my things off there. But the players are still fighting another battle back home. The soccer team's 2-0 victory against the Netherlands proved that the U.S. women are still at the top of the game. And the athletes say that they should be paid as equal to men. I agree. Absolutely. Don't you?
There was an article that I read that was talking about the disparity in performance of the two teams.
Okay.
As far as like the men haven't been to a semifinal, I think, since like 1937, and the women just won for the second time. I think only one other team has done it, and it was a men's team in like the 30s or something. They won twice in a row.
Okay.
So back-to-back wins, amazing feat. Also, they scored the most goals. The ratings were through the roof, and it's kind of united the world against. I mean, it was great soccer. If you were watching those matches, it was amazing play. Some of the best ball handling and
some of the best ball players I've ever seen.
Notice I'm not doing any of your thing here.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. So, but why do the men failed to get into the World Cup? They failed to get into the World Cup. Like, how embarrassing is that? That they didn't get into the World Cup. And like,
it's embarrassing. Yeah, I guess so.
It is embarrassing.
It's just harder to get into the World
We
Cup.
are
so wait, did the
one
women,
of the richest countries.
Did the women's team get into the men's World Cup or?
No, there's a women's World Cup.
Oh, okay. So the separate divisions. Why?
Because of gender, Los.
Yeah, I get it. So let's talk. Well, I got some more stories here. Let's go to this Huffington Post story here. It's going to travel down a trail here if you want to.
Okay,
if you want to go with me.
Take us on the trail. Take us on a journey.
So we've got this.
I'm ready to leave flavor country.
He's ready to leave. He needs to get back on that light train. Trump on this comes from Huffington Post, by the way. Trump on women's soccer team and equal pay, quote, saying, "Look at the numbers." The president said closing the gender pay gap in soccer involves looking at, quote, who's taken in what, unquote. The women's team has generated more revenue than the men's in recent years.
He said that. I'd see that the quote doesn't include him saying any of the smart stuff.
He just says, quote,
he just says,
who's taken in what?
Who's taken in what?
Look who's, we got to look
Mr.
at that.
President, what do you think?
Okay.
What do you think about women's team making much less, considerably less? Like their bonus for the team if they win the World Cup is something like
Jimmy,
$5 million.
Jimmy, I think the women's team's terrific.
If the U.S. team wins,
Jimmy,
somebody chime in with these freaking stats. Is anybody texting and putting the stats? Because I can't be doing.
Well, I told you I was going to take you on a ride here, and I'm going to show you some more stuff here. But we heard from President Donald Trump here saying, "But you've got to look at the numbers." So. Shall we look at the numbers?
He's a businessman. So
let's look at the numbers, okay? So this comes from humanevents.com, where it should be the title of this one says there should be equal pay for the World Cup. That means paying men more if there's going to be equality here. The United States women's soccer team just won the FIFA's World Cup. You guys all know about that from the Netherlands. They took them down. The left was more stacked. Of course, this is probably right-leaning, of course. We got two left. We'll do a couple right here over this. They were ecstatic over this during 4th of July. They were more excited than 4th of July. The crowd chanted, instead of saying USA, they said equal pay. So, the soccer pay controversy is what we're talking about today. So we're going to look at over 50 legislators signed a letter addressing this supposed institutionalized gender discrimination because they sued the U.S. soccer company. I would say U.S. soccer company. But Chuck Schumer weighed in on this and saying, quote, "The women make just as much of a sacrifice.
Yeah.
They put in as much mental and physical energy. They absorb as much risk of injury as the men who play for our national team. Yet when you break it down, a women's national soccer team player earns a base salary of $3,600 per game, while men's players make $5,000. So there's obviously a gap there.
Quite a gap.
I can't disagree on that.
Where's the numbers on what they get if they win?
We'll see. Let's go here. So they reported U.S. women's soccer salaries are approximately $30,000 less than the men, in addition to earning smaller bonuses. Quote, U.S. Soccer awarded the men's team a $5.4 million bonus after it lost in the round of 16 at the 2014 World Cup.
So what was that?
5.4 million. And there you go.
$5.5 million.
It awarded the women's team
for losing. In the round of 16.
For losing. It awarded the women's team $1.7 million when it won the entire 2015 tournament, unquote. That's from that's Huffington Post.
So I want to know what the men are under contract to get if they were to win the World Cup.
Well, the men,
because like if they are supposed to get like $150 million bonus for winning the World Cup, and the women are getting $5 million, that's not cool, right? I mean, is that cool? If the ratings are better for the women, if the sales of merchandise are better for the women, if the U.S.
So let's look at those numbers then, right?
Soccer team.
We should be looking into those numbers instead, right? So if there's all this new viewership, all the money's being made, let's see what it is. But there is a Forbes website, Mike Ozanian, helped set the record straight when the lawsuit was first filed, referencing the Women's World Cup in Vancouver 4 years ago. Ozanian, I'll say Ozanian, said, quote, "The Women's World Cup brought in almost $73 million, of which the players got 13%. 2010 Men's World Cup in South Africa made almost $4 billion, of which 9% went to the players." So that's his report, and we can pull up if you want to click on the sublink there of the Forbes link, he will explain that further, and you can look into some more sources of that. But that's essentially what he's saying, that when you break down what exactly they're making, percentage-wise, women are getting paid more than men.
Okay, in the number of games, is that what they're saying?
They're saying in this one game.
I think I fell asleep for a second.
Oh, you fell asleep?
I don't know.
The Women's World Cup brought in almost $73 million, and this is from the Women's World Cup in Vancouver 4 years ago, which the players got 13% of that $73 million.
Yeah.
And then the 2010 Men's World Cup in South Africa made almost $4 billion, of 9%.
So that's in television revenue. That's in television revenue. That will change. Next World Cup, it's going to be better. Like Fox is going to have to pay more money, or else you don't get it. It's going to go to ABC, and it's going to be run by the old people.
According to this, in yesterday's World Cup, participating teams received over 22% of the revenue, wherein men only received 7% of the revenue in the last year's World Cup in Russia. Women are actually earning over 3 times more than men by percentage.
Listen, have you ever taken a statistics class?
Statistics, yeah.
I took a statistics for journalism class.
Okay.
It was a requirement of my college degree. Thank you. That's right.
Well, so now let me ask you my questions here. Are you just going to go on with the story?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
I'm going to go to Flavor Country.
One thing is evident in statistics. You can skew your query to give you the statistics that look to favor your argument.
It's called confirmation bias.
Right.
You took a long time to say that.
That's what this guy is doing.
How is it confirmation bias? Because we're searching for putting fact. I mean, we're just actually looking at it.
Who is Human Events, by the way?
It doesn't matter. They're the
does
ones who
matter.
collaborated,
No,
which are the links, by the way. Now listen. That's why they set these links up here. When they put these links out there, you can look at the source that they're talking about. In this particular Forbes article, and Forbes is a pretty reputable source. Can we not agree on that?
All right.
Okay. It might
give
be
you that.
whatever they lean or whatever. He's just quoting some expert, as anyone would do when they go, some experts say this and that, right? I'm just giving you the other side, but it's not like it's not lying about the revenue of $73 million, which the players got 13% of. Now, if you want to break it down that way, now think about it. If they were to get paid more, they're not putting in as much. It's not that they're doing it. It's just business, right?
Like, hey,
think about the business here.
Okay, hold on.
I would love to pay them as much as the men.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Let's say I'm on a team. I'm on the Jimmy team. And I'm bringing in big bucks. I'm bringing
Jimmy team making big bucks.
$5 billion. $5 billion. Everybody's buying my shit.
Okay.
And then you're on the Lowe's team.
The best team right there.
It's pretty good.
It's a great team.
I follow you.
It's a great team.
I follow you on social media.
My man. Great team.
But you don't make anywhere close to what I make. You make $550 million. Okay. But you know what? Out of the team, because you're the team captain, we're going to pay you 80% of that $500,000. Okay?
80%?
You're going to get 80% of it. Yeah, and we're going to divvy up the rest. That 20% is going to divvy up to the coaches, all the other players. But you're the captain. You get 80%. Feel good?
Okay, I get 80% of what you get paid?
Yeah.
For what? For doing the same thing? What do we do?
Dude, on my team, I'm on another team.
I do magic tricks.
We bring in really big money. I know everybody loves.
I'm a magician,
everybody loves
bro.
your magic tricks.
That's right.
What I'm saying is, we made $5 billion. You guys got you're getting 80%, bro.
That's true.
You're getting 80%. I'm only getting 5%.
So are you?
I'm only getting 5%.
What's your point here? You're on my side about this, right?
I'm only getting 5% of my team's revenue.
Okay.
So
but
you're
it's
getting
still more than mine.
You're getting.
You still get paid more money than I do. See, that's what I'm saying. Is that what you're trying to get out here? Because you're only going with me. You made more money, but you got paid less.
I got less of a percentage.
So I'm not angry about that.
I got less of a percentage. You got 80%.
That's right.
Of your team's winnings.
Mm-hmm.
I only got 5.
But you still made more than me.
I know, a whole fucking shit ton. And stop fucking asking questions.
Okay.
You look like a woman wearing a mustache. What the fuck? Who let you in here to ask these questions?
I'm out of here.
You're supposed to be seen and not heard.
I'm walking.
God damn it, what are you doing with an American flag in your hand? Don't you dance over
It's one of the Betsy Ross ones.
Don't you dare dance upon my flag.
Okay.
So, hey, listen. I want to get into that.
Well, give me a second here. Let me keep going with this.
Take
Los
me back.
Angeles.
Wait, I'm going to go back to Flavor Country.
Go back to Flavor Country here. We're going to continue on this. Whatchamacallit here. This article from HumanEvents.com. So,
great.
Los Angeles Times opinion editorial said. And there's a quote, there's a link there to check out. The U.S. women's soccer team outperforms the men's team when it comes to victories, domestic viewership, name recognition, and general awesomeness. Can't deny that. Its members are stars, consistently ranked number 1 in the world, and they make millions of dollars for their employer.
What is the demographics?
The U.S. Soccer Federation.
Do we have any demographic counts for like radical, lesbian, unicorn, feminist warriors?
No. Okay, so let me keep going with this. Yes, the U.S. women's soccer team is ranked number 1 internationally, but that's in women's sports. It still doesn't hold a candle to the men. The example that they're given here, the men's World Cup in Russia generated over 45 times the revenue of yesterday's Women's World Cup. Why so much more? Have you ever watched women's soccer? I haven't really watched it, so I don't really have a horse in this race. I'm just reading this here. A team entirely made up of adolescent males, and click on that link there.
What is this?
A team entirely made up of adolescent males beat the U.S. women's national team 5-2 in a scrimmage that was supposed to tune up the women's team prior to their game against Russia 2 years back.
Okay. Stop.
Okay.
So, yeah, they were like.
I don't know what do you think about that. I just read that.
They were at a camp. They were at a camp. They were teaching these kids how to play.
Well, it says here it's a scrimmage so that they can go. They went up against scrimmage that was supposed to tune up the women's team prior to their game against Russia. But let's look at that article though. Let's look into that. So where does it come from? CBS. My goodness. So Dallas team beat the squad. I'm sure they were like, hey, we'll let these kids win, right?
Video? Because I heard about this.
Let's click on that and let's see if that comes up here.
No.
It's just America's Funniest Home Videos. This friendly, in preparation for 2 upcoming friendlies against Russia, so friendlies. So they're
friendlies.
Not really competing, right?
But
the U.S. women's national
preparation
team.
for friendlies, there was going to be a friendly team between the United States women's national team and the Russian Federation's national team. And this was, they went to a soccer camp somewhere here in Texas, and they had a scrimmage. And I can't imagine if we look at the facts. If we can please.
I'm looking at it totally objectively, and I'm looking at this story, and I'm going, yeah, it just looks like they're just being friends with them. I wish there was actually. I think
it was a friendly game. They were just playing around.
Absolutely.
If these girls or ladies, if these ladies were about to go play an international match,
they did score 2 points off of them, though.
Who?
The women scored 2 points out of, so it was 5-2.
It was 5-2.
So the women tried a little, or did they throw that in there just to sort of pepper it in?
Let me tell you this.
I wonder where it was. Did it happen? They got 4 points already, and then they kicked in 2 to sort of spin it up, and then let them have the last one.
Let me ask you.
I don't know how it went.
Hey, hard hat.
Yes.
Were you a teenager?
No.
Were you ever a teenager?
I think I have vague remembers.
Pretty sure he's not.
Were you a teenager?
It's a long time.
Do you remember puberty?
I try not to, but yeah.
You're a 15 to 17-year-old male.
I was jerking my dick every day.
You are
all day.
Okay, we're done with. Turn your mic off. I'm kidding. But you're at soccer camp. It's summertime. You're playing with the women's national team. They're wearing white shorts. What are you doing? You giving it your all, or are you gonna let the ladies win? You're going 100%. You're going full. I got double axe spray. I got the chocolate velvet, and I've got the to the moon on a Zoom croon, spray. You got double X's going, and you are shooting for that goal. I mean, those guys were just firing balls over the goal, like just.
What are you talking about? I zoned the. I was at Flavor Country this whole time. I zoned the. And also read some comments here. Let's read a couple comments here. We've got Austin. Hey, buddy. He said the Federalists. Come on, might as well be Infowars. Well, I do have to defend Infowars, and you can defend Infowars as well, right? He does a lot of. For instance, right now we have this Jeffrey Epstein stuff that's happening.
He was
Who
right.
was fucking talking about that way back when?
He was right about
Alex fucking Jones. The thing is,
he was right about Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, there's a lot of things. The gay frogs thing. Also, you guys keep referring to that. That's an actual story. He did. He's hyperbolic, as we'd say. But listen, the news is there, right? The news is there, and he's been wrong. What? Sandy Hook, right? That's
Sandy
it.
Hook. Yeah.
That's enough for him to be. He's done. But he's also taken all that stuff back because that's what journalists will do when he's presented with enough evidence or he gets fucking pumped down enough. He's going to say, "Okay, I don't believe it. I'm sorry."
When will he admit that those water filters are kind of shitty?
I don't know. Have you tried one?
I don't know.
I'd like to try one at least. I'm sure that people.
I don't have any friends.
It's not like Alex Jones made the water filters,
No,
if he made them, I don't know. I don't think I'd buy one if he actually made it though. But also talking about the Federalists is it leans right. It's not completely right wing, and saying something is Infowars is not really an insult, at least when it comes to me, because if you look at Infowars objectively, it is right leaning, but it's not as crazy hyperbolic as everyone thinks.
Is it more right leaning than the website TruePundit.com?
I guess so. And I have a theory about the TruePundit.com.
TruePundit.com.
Because I mean, you're totally getting it. But the Federalist says, to put it bluntly, to end this whole thing, female soccer players, just like female basketball players and female hockey players, are paid less because their respective sports make less. The total prize money for the Women's World Cup in France this July was $30 million. The total prize money for the men's 2022 World Cup will be $440 million. So it's not the women's fault. It's not the men's fault. It's the people that watch the sports.
So look, this is how the system works.
So maybe it'll change. This next one is a whole different.
Everybody gets upset. let's all remember we got upset.
Yes.
Because it is wrong.
What have we learned this week?
It is wrong.
That's right.
And this is one that we can agree on.
Yeah.
It is wrong that the women are getting paid less than the men.
Yes. It's wrong that not enough people are watching them to make the revenue that they do. It's wrong that not enough people care about watching women's sports that make this the problem. It's not that people are not willing to pay for it. If people are there to buy, it's supply and demand. This is how it happens. If there's enough people that want to watch the sport, it's going to happen. So get out there and support the women. I've always been about that.
And you know
we can't complain they're not getting paid enough.
This is a capitalist solution that we have to ask for because we need to show outrage to who? To the TV networks. Because the TV networks, like how does the men make money based off of the money that the host country pays. They pay the soccer federation millions of dollars to get the World Cup there. Now, why do they want the World Cup there? They want the World Cup there because it's going to bring in billions in tourism dollars. Okay? I play SimCity. I know how this shit works. You have to build the stadiums, build the infrastructure. Like what Austin doesn't have. We don't have any light rail, like what are we doing? Yeah, we need a soccer stadium like a hole in the head. But anyway, what I'm saying is soccer is important now. So maybe more money will come into it. Well, the women's team here in Austin would probably get more money in revenue than a men's team that supposedly is coming from the MLS. So to wrap it up, what I'm saying.
Wrap it up.
People are upset at these women because they're better than them. And this is what racism is. This is what gender thing is.
But what do you mean better than them? Do you think
like
that
homophobia and all that?
What do you think they're better than them? What do you mean by that? Do you mean that if they were going head to head up in the same category, or they went men against women in a soccer match, who would win?
It's just like
anybody. Is that better, or what does that mean?
You've been in a bar when somebody's like, "Man, I could do that. I can do that better than that, bro."
I've never watched either of the sports very long, but I've understood that people are more excited about men's soccer because it's more fast paced and there's a whole, that they're just better athletes. But women's sports excel for things that emphasizes their, emphasizes their characteristics a lot better. Like, tennis, like we are really invested in women's tennis, not so much the male dominated sports. And I don't think it's any fault to that. Stephanie says here, do you think women should make the same as male soccer players, or should they make proportionally the same based on the amount of revenue the sport brings in? Well, I want both. Can I not have both of them? But the thing is, it's not my fault that people aren't watching the sports. Yeah. I want them to get paid more, but if you're going to have two people doing the same job, think about sales reps. If sales representatives get paid the same if they sell the same amount of stuff, we're fine, but they're not doing that. We have one side that isn't doing as much as the other, and it's not either of their faults. It's not this gender thing. It has nothing to do with that fucking bullshit. It has to do with people just not liking certain aspects of sports. Like, have you ever watched women's basketball? Do you watch basketball, regular men's basketball?
No,
see, we're not big sports guys, right?
Yeah.
But from what I understand, and that's why I don't have a thing in this game, but I can look at it objectively. I definitely do want them to get paid the same, but bring the same kind of money. So think about it. If I'm a sales rep, you sell less than me and I sell more, but we get paid the same. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
I mean, look, I do the
but you
same
didn't do
amount
as
of
much work.
I do the same amount of work. Let's say I work at a small little startup tech company.
But who pays for your...
You work at Google.
Okay.
I work the same amount of hours. You work the same amount of hours. We kind of do the same job. But my company only brings in, $5 million a year. So they can only pay me a salary of X.
Right.
Okay? You work for a company that brings in billions of dollars a year. And then they can afford to pay you a higher salary than me. That's why you drive a Tesla and I'm driving a 99 Subaru Outback
it drives itself,
lesbian
man.
vehicle.
It's awesome.
Yeah, people think I'm a 35-year-old lesbian in a flannel, but it's not. It's me. It's Jimmy.
So if you guys have anything you want to add to this, we'll keep this open for a little bit longer. We got the phone lines are open. Check out the number underneath.
Somebody call.
And we do have some engagement, but I'm not entirely crazy about what I'm saying, right? I mean, it makes sense, right?
You're
Jimmy?
not crazy.
Can we look at this objectively?
You're not crazy, but listen, this takes a turn here because these women,
They work just as hard.
equal pay, and then it like broke out in the stadium. Like equal pay, and then like everybody's like, yeah, holy shit! After reading that one article that had all the stats about the pay dispara.
Dispara.
Did I say that right?
I don't know what the word you're trying to even say.
Disparage?
Despair?
Dispara. I think I'm hoping I just said
close enough.
The fact that I got to explain what I was doing kind of makes it a little less classy. But I was trying to say the Latin word. Anyway,
Disperanza.
The disparity between what was I even talking about?
It was
look.
The equal pay.
Yeah, equal pay, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then everybody, wait a minute. A video surfaced.
Oh, you want to get into that? Okay.
Of the women dancing over the flag.
That's that one source that you looked up, the crazy source. I did see this video, and what he's, of course, bringing up is that the women's team won. Congratulations. And they were doing a victory dance. Before that, they were holding the flag, and one of the ladies seems to have dropped the flag on the floor in a disrespectful attempt to subconsciously hate on the liberals. No, I don't think really that way, but that's sort of what he's going to get at with this story here.
So,
from what is it? TheTruePundit.com.
So this is what I did, though, as research. And Hard Hat, maybe I should have told you what I was doing here, but I went to CNN. Nothing. There's nothing about it. There's World Cup winners paint Trump into a corner. That's the headline.
You think they'd want to pounce on something like that,
yeah,
right?
Like, hey, they didn't
Republicans
drop it.
pounce on women's team for standing and dancing on the American flag.
There's watch the Nike ad. These stats show how the women team leads in soccer.
You remember
and
how
far it lags.
You remember how we looked into? You talked about confirmation bias earlier, looking for things.
So, so MSNBC, nothing about the U.S. team. Like U.S.
because they're un-American, they don't like
wins
America.
Team.
Right? I don't know.
And then Fox doesn't even mention it. I was really surprised. And so Drudge Report has dropped the story. As of this afternoon, it was like trending on Twitter and Shiznit. And then so I had to do a search. I found it on True Pundit, the one that I think I saw earlier today.
True Pundit, very reputable source.
First in my feed.
First thing I did was put it into media bias, a chart to find out where a lot of people can disagree or agree. What is it? I took the site down. It didn't pop up in media bias search to find out.
What, True Pundit?
Yeah, it didn't pop up in there. So it's not that popular. You take it with a grain of sand is what that means.
So the headline is shock video, : U.S. women win soccer World Cup.
Up. Try that again. Hold up.
Okay. Shock video, : U.S. women win soccer World Cup, then toss the United States of America flag on the ground and dance atop it. Can you believe it?
Coming this fall.
So this article.
Rated R.
Oh, and look at so there's the headline. I don't know. We're going to see this on the camera. But there's the headline.
I don't think they can see that.
The first picture is Trump with his thumbs up.
Yeah, with some sort of weird chemistry-looking atom behind him or whatever.
Going on.
Let's read some comments here on the page here. It says, from Chelsea, it is the Federation's responsibility to properly distribute the percentages to both men and women. Okay, yeah, I agree. This isn't taking into consideration marketing money targeted more towards men's sports. But what would they do with that extra money? Because there's still that extra money. Where does that go to? It goes to the Federation.
So,
and what do they do with it?
This is...
Buy more stadiums and
here's an example.
Gentrify some neighborhoods?
Wait, what did Chelsea say?
Let's read it again here. I shouldn't have exited out. What's my problem?
It's like the one person I'm really interested in.
Okay, it says, Chelsea Folk says, it is the Federation's responsibility to properly distribute the percentages to both men and women. This isn't taking into consideration marketing money targeted more towards men's sports. I think she's on the other side where I'm talking about.
She's talking about.
It is their responsibility to distribute it, but it's not taking into consideration marketing money targeted more towards men's sports. So what do you do about that?
People pay more money to get the advertising during the men's game.
But they'll still do it, and that'll make them more money, don't you think? Or do you think that's gonna keep them from advertising from on there?
If I was a business,
I wouldn't do it if it costs that much.
I wouldn't. I mean, I cannot
think about the sports Super Bowl ads.
Cosmetics industry.
Super Bowl ads are like way super expensive, right?
A lot of men that buy cosmetics, but billions of women are buying cosmetics. So this is an opportunity to sell. And when I say cosmetics, I'm talking about just like any, like even just like a baby wipe. Anyway, so listen, Mike Thomas Payne.
Payne.
He's at Thomas 1774.
What is this that you're reading?
Payne. This is his tweet. He says, "And just like that, no one gives a shit about women's soccer again. Congrats on alienating half the country that puts food on your tables." So,
who said that?
This is just some random
on that
dude.
reputable source, True Pundit?
It's just some random dude that tweeted about it.
Wow, how did they dig that up?
And then Sarah Carter.
Okay.
Yeah. She's saying, "Is this for real? Did she drag and drop the U.S. flag?"
Okay, so you're talking about that flag thing. I thought we were done with it. Do you want to try to pull that up there, Hard Hat, real quick so we can analyze it?
Yeah, give me some details on it.
It's just look up U.S. women's team flag stomp or flag
and then
drop.
Just so you don't think that, because I'm intentionally reading that, like that's the outrage.
Yeah.
On one side.
Of course.
Now, on the other side.
The very little side that you're talking about, I do point out, by the way, a lot. So you're trying to do what we do as well on this side.
And then I'm jumping on the other side of the fence.
Okay.
Hup. And I'm saying NPR screws up. Yep. They screw up.
That's right.
And everybody's able to screw up. I think that True Pundit is a troll site. And you saw what happened. I went to that article, and then it ended up taking me to one of those blow up inflatable
Something amazing
houses.
Look.
It's
like a bubble greenhouse.
I know exactly how much it was. It's $1,345.
Think about this, man. What if that was? What if that's what it was supposed to do to you?
House.
You go into it, and it pisses you off, right?
I'm so mad.
As a lefty, it pisses you off.
And you know how I cope. My coping thing is I like to buy things. That's why I'm a picker.
So maybe it's catered to you. It's Apple fucking.
Oh,
watching
it knows.
It said, "Look at that little camera right there. It's watching you."
Oh, you're
Pass
pissed
me
off.
that little thing there.
You probably want to buy something, don't you?
I do.
You're probably so upset right now, Jimmy. Well, this is one other example of how I got pissed off. So on NPR today, they're talking. We got Steve Inskeep. He's the host of the show, and he's like, "The U.S. women's soccer team did more."
Okay, he's got the video. Let's pull that up. Slide that over.
Oh, what are we watching? Oh, her stepping on the flag.
Well, let's analyze it. So
okay.
We've got the video up here. It's from Instagram from John Tygen.
So, yeah.
And so, they're holding the flag.
Are irate about her
and there
dancing.
It's on the floor.
She drops it.
Okay, so let's back it up and let's look at this again here. Now she's holding it in her hand. So she knows it's in her hand.
I think.
And then she drops it, and then she gets into this coordinated thing.
But if you look, none of y'all have even mentioned somebody immediately rushes to come pick it up.
Yes.
Well, that's what I've heard on my conservative sites is that they said this, but they didn't say they stomped on it. They said they dropped the flag and the American O'Hara, whatever her name was.
Danced over.
What's her name?
O'Hara, I think.
O'Hara? Okay, I was pretty close. Yeah.
Okay, so
Kelly
it looks
O'Hara
like they had a choreographed thing where they needed their hands free.
Yeah.
I don't know why she thought that she had to drop the flag to do this stupid dance.
Sure.
But she did it. She shouldn't have done it. God, flavor country.
Well, you know what you're doing. We talked about how maybe she doesn't know that that's disrespectful to drop a flag, right?
I think it's ignorance.
I think honestly, like I really feel like that's kind of like everybody knows that.
Is that a real flag?
Shouldn't.
What is it? Just like some piece of paper?
Ignorance is no excuse when it comes to law, but when it comes to like a flag thing,
flag etiquette,
some people just don't know it. You know?
Well, I mean, technically, if a flag is out at night, it has to be.
This is what she's got to do. She's got to now go on Hannity. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that fucking slug of a man. She's got to sit across the table and explain. She has to.
Oh, really?
If she gives a shit about conservative America, she's got to go on Tucker Carlson, and she's got to go on the 5, right?
Will she get disowned by people on the left if she goes on those shows? Probably. She'll get eaten alive.
Let me get this straight. Well, let me let this be clear.
She just does one show. She goes on Ellen.
No,
and
emergency exit.
Okay, we'll take her. We'll take her to explain herself. As far as I'm concerned, I think it was harmless.
I have to tend to agree as well. Some people just don't know the rules. And maybe people are making an outrage over it. From the media that I saw, and maybe it's me, I didn't feel that it's a big deal. Big fucking deal. People burn flags too. You know that? I don't give a fuck. But what they are is they were representing the U.S. team. They dropped the flag. I don't think it's that big of a fucking deal.
You know what? This is what I love about some of the European countries. Like the Germans, they'd be like, oh my goodness. Like in their homes, they'd be like, and they just imagine I'm saying this in German. I'm going to say it in English so you understand. I was going to try and say it in fake German, but I realized that you wouldn't understand what I was going to say. So I'm going to say it in English, but imagine it's German.
Okay.
Like, oh my goodness. We as a German country are very ashamed of what just happened with our flag hitting the ground because we have the same flag rules as America, where the flag should never hit the ground, then you are supposed to burn it. But you know what? I'm not going to go straight to the internet and start screaming about it because I'd then be embarrassed for the other countries to know that I am embarrassed. So, like a good Italian mother, I'm going to tell everybody to just keep quiet and just absorb the shame.
Sounds like you're from the third world, from the
I don't know
Middle Earth.
I was at Flavor Country. Now I'm a light guy.
Now you're a hobbit
and I'm thinking
Middle
about
Earth.
this Elijah Craig here in a second. But do you
do a
get what
little
I'm
bit of
saying?
Yeah, you heard I have no outrage over it. I agree that it's probably ignorance over any sort of disrespect.
Yeah.
I mean, you can disrespect and still claim ignorance. Yeah, I mean, maybe she didn't
didn't
know. Who
throw
cares?
down the flag.
But you're in the.
She didn't
they
dance on
just
the flag.
Won the World
She
Cup.
dropped
They
it to do a dance.
They beat the best women in the world when it comes to soccer. You can celebrate and forget that you dropped it. What if you dropped the Stanley Cup? Would that be sacrilege?
Oh, dude,
It's happened before, right?
If you drop, it's happened before. Like things
know.
have happened. There's all kinds of things that have happened. I mean, things have happened, dude.
I agree with you on that. It's
one
weird.
guy, I think it was Gretzky. His wife was pregnant, and she birthed her baby into the cup.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. Look it up.
Okay,
so
where are we at?
But listen, okay, to beat a dead horse one more time. I like it. On NPR, this was the quote from Eleanor Beardsley. She says, the Netherlands game was a nail biter. For the first time, the U.S. didn't score a goal within the first 15 minutes. The entire first half was a tense back and forth as chants of USA and Holland resounded through the stadium. The Americans relentlessly attacked, but the determined Dutch seemed to put up a dike around their goal. On NPR.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
NPR said that?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
A short, blonde-haired woman in goal, from Netherlands, where they have lots of dikes to hold back water.
Oh. I thought you were talking about, like, pliers, too. Those can be, like, there's...
to cut wires.
Cut wires. Those are dikes, too.
Yeah, it's like...
Let's see.
Who would write
Austin, who did that? Tony... yeah, we did get it from MAGA Media, but that's the funny part there. You see, let's say John Laird.
John Laird.
Oh yeah, dude, I met that guy over the weekend.
Did you?
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Hey, John. I don't know if he's listening.
No, he's not.
Oh, you should tell him that we're doing a show.
I'm gonna say call me. What's our number?
Where was I getting at here? It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm with you. I want women to get paid more. No, we don't announce the number anymore. Just if you guys are watching, the number's below. I just don't want it to go out on the
rebroadcast.
I guess if you're listening on the podcast, you can call in. We have the number on the website, emergencyexitpodcast.com. Let's get into some more news.
Do we have a song to transition?
We don't have I do have a transition song right here.
It says transition.
Racist or not, over the weekend, a white man called the cops on a black man again. So we have this thread from Twitter because we get a lot of news from Twitter these days. That's just how we roll. AOC says all the old fucking Democrats just don't get it. Another anti-black racist in the Bay Area was filmed while he made a fraudulent 911 call on an innocent black man who was standing outside of a building waiting on his friend to come down. The anti-black racist's name is allegedly Christopher Cookor, and he works for YouTube. So shall we just watch the video?
Well, let me ask questions real quick.
Okay, ask the questions. I want to look into this.
A couple questions. Who's Tariq Nasheed?
Good question. So let's go ahead and click on his name there.
I'm the world's #1 race baiter, is what I just saw.
Exactly what I wanted you to see there. So he's the world #1 race baiter. He says, I bait racists and expose them. So he's calling this man a racist.
So he's putting... Okay, so he's triggering. He's triggering racists to come out and talk smack about the black guy.
I'm going to go to Flavor Country again.
Do it. Go, man. Be free.
Give me another one of those.
Oh, he's going in.
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd do that.
Okay, so am I right? Like, yes, that's exactly what I read. Go ahead. Let's hear this. Can I hear this?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's watch that video. I don't know if they can hear it very well. I'll turn it up.
All right. Oh yes. Call the police. Remember that. I remember this exactly happening when I used to live in my own.
Okay, can you pause it?
And then.
So this is a white man that's calling the police?
Full screen that too, by the way.
Is this a white man that's calling the police on the black man that's recording?
Yes.
Okay. Does this white man have a...
He's got a kid with him.
Does he have an Asian
Looks like
child?
an Asian kid, yeah.
Okay.
With a bowl cut. Looks like me when I was a kid, dude. I had a bowl cut. That's me as a kid, by the way.
Racist white man with an Asian child. But, I mean, you can just get any kind of child.
All right, continue that.
People used to call the police all the time.
Sir, I'll hold the door here for you.
That is okay. Nobody's asking you to hold the door. You can do whatever you want. But I'm recording you right now, and you're going to be the next person. Look at this.
You don't need to threaten me. You just need
I'm
to
not threatening you.
You are.
I'm not threatening you.
I'm going to be the next person what?
You're just going to be the next person on TV.
Next person
just
on
remember
TV.
that. And you have your son with you. That's why I asked you if that's your son.
Next.
It's better. I will delete this.
Yeah, there's a trespasser in my
Trespasser.
Listen to your son.
Daddy, go. It's the better. I agree with him, Daddy.
Aw. You hear that kid?
Yeah.
Please, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh, man, he's scared.
Well,
I don't like this. Let's go.
yeah. Children know, man.
The door as I left, he walked in.
I tell get it to the door.
He appears to be African American.
Appears to be African American. They asked what his ethnicity was. So.
Yeah.
35, software engineer.
Pink polo shirt and a Yankees cap.
All good.
Pink
all
polo
good.
shirt and a
Software
Yankees
engineer,
cap.
Yep.
I don't think
Pink
any
polo
gangsters
shirt,
wear that.
Yeah. And tennis shoes, jeans, yeah. You have to be here for when they call him.
He's filming me and refusing to leave. He's saying I'm going to be the next person on TV.
Yes, sir. You don't remember this? The girl that was like told he's married. Wow. You know that's illegal now, right?
5'10", 4722.
Yeah,
Some video.
That's illegal to call cops
He
on
said he's
African
here for a
Americans.
friend. He said he's waiting for a friend, and I asked
Yes.
him
Illegal to what?
the call box, and he said he would not. So I don't
Calling
know
a friend.
if his friend is actually here.
Yeah, so I'm here to just.
What is he? It's okay. So let's
So we lost
let's
some
move
connection there.
Yeah. Is the guy there to see somebody? Does he get arrested? What happens? Do the cops come?
Well, here's the way I see it. So, do you know what happened? Why
No.
that guy was sitting there? So,
Let me tell you this. I would say something, but it's tact. You know. Now, did the guy? Is that how it went? Like, oh hey, do you have a code? Do you have a code thing? I'm not supposed to let people that don't have a code thing in. Like, that's how I would have handled it. But hey, dog, yo, man, that's not how I do my business.
is that what you'd say to this guy? That's
No, I'm saying,
sitting
like,
there
if
by-
somebody was to say that, I'd be like, are you on drugs? Why are you talking like that?
Right. First of all. Yeah.
Like, and what's
What's with
this?
that? What's the hand motions
Yeah.
there? Yeah, the crab.
I have no
arms.
idea what you're doing.
But you gotta look at it again. So he's coming in there, the guy's slipping in, and he's concerned a bit. So he says,
Do you know how
would
many
you call up
times
your buddy?
I've called the cops dozens of times.
You've done this.
Just this year. I mean, I hear riffraff going on in the dumpster in the alley, I call the cops. They're at it again. Like they know who I am at this point. Hello, Mr. President. What's going on? Are they in the dumpster again? Yes. Stop it, please.
Right.
How many times do I have to call? These people should not be shopping at 3 a.m. out of a dumpster filled with scrap metal. Please stop it.
Correct. Okay, so where are we getting at with this
I pay
here
your
again?
Taxes.
Oh, so let's get to this next.
You shouldn't call.
Let's look at a little history.
Are we still
about,
talking about the dykes?
We're still talking about this guy here. His name is Christopher Kukor. Let's look at some history about this. This comes from the San Francisco Gate, and simply 2 grown men, sons of Peter. I don't know why I said Parker. Peter Kukor, 67, criticized the police department for failing to respond to their father's call for help about an intruder on his property, knowing that he had called a number that police describe on their website as an emergency line. This comes from San Francisco Gate or sfgate.com. Slain Berkeley man's family says.
What was it like? They had a number. They're
blame.
like, if you think you're about to get murdered by a person of the other color.
Yeah. So no, it says Berkeley police are partly to blame for the slaying of a man who was bludgeoned by a mentally disturbed person. The victim's family said Friday because officers weren't allowed to respond to his emergency call for help. Why does this even have anything to do with what we're talking about? Because this was his father that died because they called. And there was a man who broke in or trespassed upon their property. So he's got some history here. Why he would be a little bit concerned of somebody that he doesn't know trying to get to the gate and open it up. And he says his friend is in there. If you watch the whole video, you'll see that the friend does show up, but doesn't show up inside. Shows up outside because she's walking up. And she's like, I guess he claims that she's not capable of something, I don't know, physically incapable. I forget what he says exactly. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but helps her walk. And you see the guy just like his face change, like, okay, well, his friend came and everything. But couldn't this all have been avoided if he just said something like, I'm waiting for my friend and said a name? I mean, he doesn't have to like go down and say full names or anything, but he can say, the apartment's this, and give a little bit of information instead of saying, no, fuck you, motherfucker. Well, who the fuck are you? I don't have to say shit to you.
Everybody's at fault.
Yes.
Everybody's at fault.
Yes. Right. Exactly, right? That's what it comes down to.
The white guy probably didn't ask the right question. The white guy didn't videotape. Where's the...
So what point exactly was this racist?
If you want me to fully adjudicate this case, we are going to have security camera footage of the lobby. I want to see the body language of both men when they first interact.
Can we just agree that if someone's concerned a bit, he can be concerned without calling it racist?
I'm saying the guy probably isn't so racist with the Asian kid that he's got.
Oh, no, good point. Okay? Good point. No, great point.
Either that or gentrification's gone to adoption.
Well, apparently Andy is an Asian that got beat up by some people. It's journalists that got beat up at a rally.
I heard he was a jerk.
We'll see. Does that justify him getting fucking a brain hemorrhage? A journalist, by the way. Let's go down. Now, I think I'm just trying to look at some background and look at this objectively.
How long?
Because they were calling him racist, and that's not very cool. We're 57 in. Okay. It's not very cool, man. So I looked up package theft in San Francisco, it tops and this is from CNBC. And it's are you a top 10? It's the next link down. These top 10 cities are where people go. These top 10 cities where people Google search Amazon packages stolen the most. That means they looked at. So if someone got their package stolen, they'd Google Amazon package stolen. So they looked up the amount of times that was pulled up, and the top of the list among 10, we can start at 10, Sacramento. Number 9, Atlanta. B, Baltimore. 7, Oakland. 6, Washington, D.C., 5, Portland, Boston, DC. Minneapolis, Seattle, and the top's number 1. San Francisco is number 1 for package stolen. So maybe he's got, just like in Austin. Remember there, Austin, they had that package, just a bunch of packages being stolen, and then all of a sudden this guy was putting bombs in them, and fucking somebody blew up, and I'm not really happy to report that sucked, but it stopped people from stealing the packages for a while, so... Sorry. All right, that's a joke. But no, seriously, though. But yeah, that says... So there's some legitimate reaction here, and I don't think at any point that this becomes racist at all, don't you think? Hello, Coach. I don't think that this becomes racist. Kukor did have a legit reason, don't you think, to be concerned? I mean, over his history. His
So
dad died because of
what
an
I was trying
intruder.
to say is, like, I think about stuff. There's stuff that
What are your thoughts?
I mean,
What are your
like,
thoughts, my man?
I had a dream last night about how I needed to, like, it was a freaking screwed up, like, power dynamic, not a power dynamic stream, but it was just, like, heavy.
What about me?
I forgot about you.
Hook me up.
I forgot about your actor. But so listen, so I was like, man, this is like real life stuff. When I woke up, I was like, I need to have a conversation with the guys, you know? And it was like real. And it was about my anxiety about making sure that my coworker is well taken care of, or as well taken care of as I am.
Okay.
Even if that person is like higher up on the ladder than me, you know? And then so I was hungover enough that when I got into work and I was like kind of in a daze and only had like 2 sips of coffee and had only had 1 taco. And I blurted it out, you know, what I was concerned about. And we had a conversation about it, and I don't think we resolved it, but we started the discussion. So what I'm saying is you should drink every night so that you just kind of take the edge off.
Cheers to that. Hey, guys, if you got anything to ring in, come on. I know that you guys are watching out there. Give us a call if you want to add. Austin says on here, on the chat here live, says, similar. What about the black man arrested outside of the hospital in his gown and an IV drip with the security guard accusing him of trying to steal the IV and sell it on eBay? Well, I mean, racism is out there. I'm not going to deny that it doesn't exist, but Jesus Christ.
Do you know that story? That guy
I did hear about that story.
He was in a hospital, and he was just going for a walk.
Right.
He was like going for a walk, and security guard stops him. But that's another thing. It's like, if the guy, what was it? Man, I watched the worst video the other day. This guy shouldn't be making videos, but I know he probably has hundreds of them. I wanted to click on his username to see the hundreds of them, but I was like, that is a rabbit hole that I will not.
What is it
down.
about?
It was this video about this guy who's a private investigator. And so he's showing dash cam and helmet cam. He's got like a helmet cam or maybe glass cam. And then he's also got a GoPro on his dash. Anyway, supposedly he's tailing somebody. And he comes to like a traffic circle and then goes around somebody and continues to tail his target, right? Well, he then gets pulled over because the guy that he went around at the traffic circle said that he forced or hit him. It was a hit and run.
Okay.
Anyway, when the cop goes to pull him over, he gets out of the car and tries to just show his ID. He gets out of the car and raises his hand up in the air with his identification.
Okay.
You don't do that. I don't care if you're a PI. This guy's an agitator.
Okay.
And then so when the cop came, like the cop came with his gun drawn, was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, I am a PI, and I am lifelessly. So he's like, "You would have gotten killed. I would have killed you. I would have killed you.
Okay.
I would have killed you."
Okay. Take it easy.
So we got to stop hiring scared cops. Like that guy
You know
really.
what I've said for a long time is that cops are like adrenaline
They're
junkies
so
sometimes
scared.
too, and they're looking for that. Not all of them. I think most of them are really good. It's,
the ones in these incidents.
and it's very public. Every single
see
one.
fear.
Think about it. There's not one that doesn't go by that catches our eye, right? So it's still a small percentage of all the crime that's out there when these smaller things happen. I've got the body cam video up here. Yeah, I mean, he's walking around the hospital, outside of the hospital with his gown and his IV. His IV's attached.
He's got a bracelet.
Now,
he's not stealing. He's got
the headline's a little. I don't have any volume. Could you pull that up there, Mr. Hardhat? It's what I found was it's
on NBC News.
Black man in hospital gown. I guess that's the easiest way to find it because that's what it's the first part of it is. But yeah, it's crazy. I want to see the actual interaction, actual video, which we can see. But, you know, his interaction with them is what they wrote down. Is that, I mean, he was being disorderly. Why? I know you're probably pissed that the cops are giving you shit.
Yeah.
My first impressions are like...
Is he on the sidewalk outside of the hospital?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I am from the hospital.
Right.
Like, and so, listen.
But this is why I want to see...
From a humanitarian standpoint, put yourself in the black man's shoes here. That man.
Right. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
This is a man that has had this happen his whole life. This is what I was talking about.
So he sees the cops now and
Listen, in every single movie that you watch as a black male from 1980 to 2000, what did you see? You saw a white man as the cop, the good cop. You might even see a white man as the bad cop.
I don't know. I watched the nice guys
somehow
or the other guys.
The black inner city youth is preyed upon in some way.
What, they're not committing any crimes?
I'm saying that the scripts are written to show that stereotype, and like in real life, yes.
Wait, the
In
stereotype there's
so
more
I'm saying-
crime at inner cities
I'm
than
saying
there are
the shows that we were
outer cities?
exposed to as children were
like Rocco's
white
Modern
men.
Life.
Yeah, they gave us a
fucking
sprinkle.
Doug,
They gave
Rugrats,
us a sprinkle of pepper with Mr. T. But Mr. T was still, if you don't forget, a fugitive of the law. They were running from the U.S. Army. Do you remember they went AWOL? They were saviors to many people across the country.
So let me get in.
They could build like in a
Jimmy
minute.
Tony wants to chime in on this. Do y'all think the white gentleman would have handled the situation the same if a person was waiting for a friend that was a white gentleman? Now, that's what I'm always trying to tell. That's why conservatives have this problem when it comes to when they change things. Now, I have no problem when they want to change the Little Mermaid or something, but that's what you're trying to talk about here. And we actually have a real story of racism here because I didn't think that was racism. Juxtapose. We're going to get into this right now. I want to get into this. Forget this video here. Let's get back into what we were going to talk about here. This festival.
Does life imitate art or does art imitate life?
Dude, it's the same, one and the same, man.
It's like that Eddie Murphy skit where he's like, I went undercover as a white person. And people gave him shit, you know? He dressed up as a white person.
There's always going to be someone that finds something offensive. That's the problem here, right? So we have this Afrofuture
what is this?
Festival that's coming up here, and this comes from CNN. An Afrofuturist group says it reverses decision to charge white people more for tickets to its Detroit festival than black and brown people because they received threats, an artist dropped out, and a ticketing website threatened to unpublish their event.
It was a stupid idea.
So
marketing-wise, stupid idea. Because who is going to buy your advance tickets? White people. White people plan. You know?
Wow, that's racist. What?
I'm telling you
fucking talking about?
that growing up in a Hispanic family, you better tell us the party starts at 6 if you want it to start at 7.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, take it easy.
We're showing up late.
Are you done?
No.
The Eventbrite page for Afrofuture Fest, hosted by Afrofuture Youth, and advertised an early bird POC ticket for $10 with a POC meaning people of... Yeah, we know what POC means, right? And it's a quote, early bird non-POC ticket for $20. The group defined non-POC as white people.
Hey, we'd get in for $10.
I still would get in. I'm a person of color, you guys. I don't know. But I don't like this either way because it's sort of...
In this instance, you're going, yo.
If I was a fully white guy and I saw that and I wanted to go to this event, I would probably.
Do you tell them that you're Filipino, or do you tell them that you're Puerto Rican?
I'm mostly Filipino.
All you have to do is tell them that you identify as a person of color,
so
and they can't just.
No.
Do you have my? Do you have my?
No.
So do you have the screenshot I took of when I first read this story a few days ago, where you can see here the early bird non-POC ticket is $22.85. And then you have the POC, which is the same. Non-POC, it's double that, $44.06. That's my screenshot I took a while back when I first saw the story and saved it so we can talk about it. And I knew that it was going to keep growing.
If you are a person of color only, general admission onto the festival.
They're just saying this is the only way you can get this one. I think that was the early bird POC special. But backlash happened, dude. And
Yeah.
you know what happened is that they got word
So
of
the
it.
whole festival got shut down?
No, they didn't. So let's
They
look
just changed
at the price of it now. So I actually have a link. So just keep going down that page, and it'll have the next link. So if you look at it, let's look at tickets here. They
How do you
changed
feel about the
everything.
police?
Look at that. They changed it to general admission, $20 because
Yeah.
of the outrage.
Yeah, now they'll make more money.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
But all that backlash, and that's what I'm talking about. What they're saying here is that.
But hey,
well, I
what
want
do
to
you
answer.
think?
I want to answer Tony's question real quick. Is that you do see that? Oh, what if that was a white? Would he have handled it differently? Who knows? I think he wouldn't have handled that differently. We're talking about the guy, the YouTube guy, executive that called the cops on the black guy. I don't think that would be any different.
Wait.
Because
Did you just call him a university executive?
No, YouTube executive.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what he is, I
you
guess,
mentioned
apparently.
that
Because they kind of doxed him, right? Which was a bad thing. But
Yeah, who cares?
I look at that's what conservatives do with this. They go, "What if we did that? What if we had a fucking a rap site where we charge POCs more money than non-POCs?"
I want to know the end of the story. This is the problem with journalism. Can I have a moment? This is the problem with journalism.
Okay.
Can you just for a moment tell me the beginning, the middle, and the end? Because I told you before, we're living in this troll society where everybody's jumping on they threw the flag down and then danced upon it. You know, like maybe we're not truly understanding what's happening here. And then right here, we've got another moment where yet again we are triggered.
Well, yeah, why? Why is all the triggering
Why?
happening?
So much triggering.
Why is all the triggering happen, man?
That's what I was telling you, man. 90% of the world is just going through life with the blinders on. Not the blinders, but they've got their head down. They're working hard. And they're working to something.
Okay.
Now, what I hope is that they're not toiling without some dancing. Because listen,
Not on the flag though, right?
There is a metaphorical finish line for a lot of these people, and peaks again, but valleys sometimes and plateaus. Okay, what I'm saying is,
well, what did we learn today? We talked about the women's soccer team and their pay. So the question goes out to you guys.
You gotta dance.
Okay.
You got
that's what we learned today. That's what you got to dance. But also,
not on the flag.
We talked about what is equal pay to you. If it has to do with the overall what the company makes and how you make percentage wise, we learned that women make more percentage wise, but they get paid less because it's not enough, not the same amount of money. Like I said before, this has to do with not the federation, not anything. It just people need to watch more women's soccer, and whose fault is that? I don't know whose fault is that.
I don't know,
but it's.
I think it's capitalism, and it'll correct itself. But
it should.
What needs to happen is renegotiation of the television and the advertising contracts. Really, the advertising contracts go to the distributors of the broadcast, but the organization or the country or the national the International Soccer Committee.
Shut off that.
They are the
video.
ones.
That's probably slowing us up too. Shut that off.
Which one?
I got the chat here.
They are the ones that can change the dynamics for this disparity in pay, and that's what I mean.
Okay, well, we do want the women to get paid more, is what he's trying to say. I think what Jimmy's trying to say here, and I'm not mansplaining on his mansplain, but I think he's saying that they do deserve more. I think more people should. We're pissed off that people aren't watching enough of it and paying more into it, because once the money's there, they're going to get paid more, or they might. Then we'll really be able to determine what this gender pay gap is. It's not got anything to do with gender or anything that.
Can we call it gender gate though? I think you just Freudian slipped it.
It's
Can
a
we
gender
call
gate.
it gender gate?
I suppose we could.
Gender gate, and we will come back and revisit this.
We also learned about and found common ground on this guy. Did we find any common ground? So this guy tailgated, and I wanted to role play real quick. So
tailgated?
Yeah. So I'm walking away. You're walking from your apartment out. And I slip in. Doesn't matter what I am. It's me. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
I'm
So
walking. I'm going.
you're
to
walking
I'm
out.
going to my mother's house. She's not feeling good.
Get your apartment,
I've
your nice,
made-
very expensive
made some
apartment
chicken
behind
soup.
you.
I've got it in the container that she likes, and I've got that spork that she likes, and it's in a paper bag. She doesn't like plastic.
Right.
So I'm walking out the door.
Okay, come on.
I'm wearing my sweater,
Progress
and
this.
I have my Chinese son.
You're painting a velvet picture there.
He's
my
from
man.
Beijing.
Okay, great.
His father was at Tiananmen
So you're
Square
walking out the door here?
and died in a prison.
You're walking out the door, my man?
I'm walking out the door.
Okay, so you have all your stuff and you walked out the door.
Yes.
And then I grabbed the door right before you.
Whoa, Holmes.
Yeah.
S.A.
Yes.
What you doing?
Oh,
How you
my
doing? I
friend
haven't
lives
met you.
upstairs, and I'm just here to visit her.
Oh, what's up? I'm Mark. Give you a fake name? I give you a fake name because that's what I do. What's up, Mark?
You're role playing. I would like you to play the role play of this guy. If
Oh,
you want. I don't need you to go into some elaborate thing. I want to.
I was gonna go undercover
Get an idea
here. I
of
was
what
going
happened
dark.
there. So you're what's his face, and you have your
I was gonna
Asian,
try and sell
your
you
obviously
drugs
Asian
and
son
reveal your
with a bowl cap.
dark side. I was gonna, but okay.
Come on,
So,
you're
hey,
dragging this on, my man. I love
okay.
you.
I'm calling the cops. You are not allowed in here if you don't have a badge.
Well, hold up a
Who
second.
are
That's
you-
not how
who-
it goes.
who are you
He
here
leaves the
to
door
see?
and he opens the door. He opens the door and then he slides in and he goes, "Wait, what are you doing?
What are you doing?"
Remember, you're this guy where
Okay.
his father fucking
You
died
say-
from an intruder.
Yeah.
You guys remember
He
what his
died?
history?
Wait, this happened?
His father died from
Did
a.
you read that earlier?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Welcome to the show. But his father
No,
died.
I'm empathetic. That's
their
terrible.
Package
This guy's
theft
totally
is a
triggered.
package theft is a huge thing in San
Did he
Francisco.
die at the hands of a black man?
I don't. It wasn't a black man. It doesn't
It's
say anything about a black
important to
man.
the story.
It's an intruder.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, you have that still
Intruder
lingering.
in the white man's mind. is a
Trespassing,
black
right?
man.
So you have this nice apartment that's got two doors. You pass through the first
Yeah,
door.
yeah.
The second door happens where,
Whoa.
and I say, "I'm coming here to see my friend. She lives here." And he goes and says, "Well, do you mind calling? What's her name?" And he goes, "I don't have to tell you a fucking thing." That's what happens. I say,
The guy
"I don't have to
says,
tell you a
"I don't have
fucking
to tell
thing."
you a fucking thing.
And
Is
yes,
that
it's in
on
the video.
video?
It's on the video. I don't have to tell you a fucking thing. Now imagine that. Think about that. You're someone that has that. Couldn't you just say? Well, at first, now he doesn't say that right away. He goes, "I'm going to see my friend who lives here," and then he goes, "What's her name?"
Okay.
I don't have to tell you a
know what I
fucking
do?
thing.
You know what I do in that moment?
What do you do?
I go, "Cool," and I walk away, and then I.
But
call
you're
the
not
police.
hit. But you're not
I
you.
call the police.
Oh, then you call the police.
Then I call the police.
So either way, you're
Fuck
calling
yeah.
the police.
And I know that my apartment building has cameras everywhere, and I say some guy wearing, I was just about to describe him like Bill Cosby with the sweater that had like
Well, he did.
stripes
He
and
was
stuff
wearing,
like that.
and he says it. He
Was
describes what he's wearing.
Weird.
No.
colored
It was
sweater?
a pink polo shirt and
He
a,
was like
a Yankees cap.
He was eating a Jello pudding pop.
Pudding pop. Anyways, get what you're saying there.
What I'm saying is, I would have. Sure, cool, dude. Because look, I made the mistake the other day. There was this homeless lady that was totally holed up in, like, she was in the recycle bin, which was on its
Jesus,
side.
Murphy.
She's in it. I'm going to my car to leave my apartment. She is in it. She's got all the crap out, and so I was like, "Excuse me, miss. Excuse me." And she's like, "What? And I'm like, this lady obviously is either unfortunately mentally ill,
right,
or has abused drugs to the point that she is now mentally ill. Yeah. And she's in my apartment recycling bin. And I said, "Can you do me a favor? I don't know what you're after, and if you let me know, I can maybe help you out." Okay, I didn't say any of that. I said, "Hey, are you gonna clean this shit up?"
So you're pretty pissed.
I might have just, I got like, "Please,
Hey, what the fuck?
Please clean this up." Like, it was a mess. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna clean this up. Don't you worry." And she's like, I don't know, old white lady, or she was just really dirty. I don't know.
Tell her to use some of that privilege of hers.
I don't know. So, and she's like, "My friend over there, I don't know why she's not helping me." I was like, "Oh, listen, I don't need the whole backstory. I'm on my way to Jack in the Box, so I gotta go." But please, we've had a lot of people that are just like really messy around here. Can you pick up the stuff that you aren't gonna take? And she's like, "Oh yeah, boss, I got it. You know what? I come back from Jack in the Box with a not any ketchup. I didn't get any ketchup. Like, what is wrong with these fast food people? And it's like I look them in the eye and say, "Give me ketchup," and they don't give me ketchup. Anyway, I come home. They've dumped both recycle bins. They've just dumped them and spread them.
Probably took a dump in them too.
Probably.
Recycle this, motherfucker.
I should have just been like, "Oh, I'm scared." Drive away. Hey, police, stop this. This is vandalism. And there's no food in those recycle bins. So it's not a life or death situation. They are stealing recyclables.
Well, Austin did allow camping everywhere, which is going to just make tent cities happen here. You make my words, man. Mark my words. Make my words,
I won't
Julian.
make your words.
I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to 6th Street, maybe 4th or 3rd Street. They're going to be a mile just straight down the street.
Look,
all tent. Excuse me.
This is what I say. Capitalism will solve everything. Let's buy some lots, set up some recycling programs, and then we'll just get them to bring all the recyclables to us. And then the trash companies are going to be begging for the recyclables.
I don't know if that solves homelessness, but good trying.
No, baby steps.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Emergency Exit Podcast. Dude, this was a pretty eventful podcast. We had a lot of responses going on YouTube Live. So if you guys are listening to this on the podcast, join us Mondays at around 7 o'clock or so. That's Central Standard Time.
I try to get here at 6:30.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Hey, cheers to Rhonda. Oh, Rhonda, hopefully we'll get you fixed up tomorrow.
Cheers to everybody listening. Tony, Austin, Deandra,
Chelsea, thanks
Deandra.
for chiming in.
If you guys, thanks for contributing to the show, Stephanie as well.
Thank you, Tony. And
that's what the show's
Stephanie.
all about. There is bias everywhere. Although I share one side of bias, he shares the other side, but we find common ground in the middle. I hope you guys, at least can look at the other side a little differently, that they're not as crazy as MAGAarticles.com.
Or they're both crazy, and somewhere in the middle is the sanity.
And that's where we are. We just lean a little bit to one side.
You got the balance.
Anyways.
You got the balance.
We got to have the balance. So,
move it to the zero.
For Jimmy, Orange Man, Preston, we
Orange
got
Man
Brandon.
Bad, Preston.
We got Brandon the Hardhead Mitchell. I'm Los. And I'm saying...
Night.
That's right. So you guys, we're not going to be here next week.
Oh, yeah.
So see you guys in 2 weeks. Peace.